Project Dirt, Chapter 6. Vought spent 5 days running simulations before Adam came and ordered him to bed. Vought had a wild look in his eyes, but did as he was told. York laughed and tried to teach Vought that Adam did not allow him to work himself to death. Adam changed his focus on the asteroid field. Some of the blueprints he had bought demanded lots of different metals, and the more he could mine himself, the cheaper it would be to build. York was constantly tweaking the droids, and they had already started on the tower that would have Adam's living quarters. Rokes was getting a little restless, but calmed when he was told to go Soshu and check up on new droids and check with the lawyers if they could find some new crew members and have them go over the Earth requirements for colony status. He had also been told to get hold of a satellite launcher and a list of different satellites Adam wanted. He had been given a budget of 1.5 million credits, but he must show the receipts. Adam was teaching little Micah to swim while the others were working. Jork had initially been worried, but Micah seemed to love it. It was becoming a daily routine fairly quickly, and Micah could swim the whole distance on his own with his doggy paddling. "What was that?" Adam said as he felt the ground shake slightly, not enough to create more than a few ripples in the water. Micah looked at him, shrugged, and giggled into the pool again. Adam helped him up for the 100th time as he contacted Vought and asked, "Vought, I just felt a weak shake, and the water rippled. Did anything happen? Let me check. There are no accident reports. Wait, I see it. There was an earthquake 457 kilometers southeast of us. It was a pretty big one, measuring 9.7, but we are quite safe here," he replied. Adam thought about it and called Micah over. "We are coming up. Tell Hara that it's time for Micah's lunch." Pizza, pizza, pizza. Micah started to chant as Adam carried him towards the main building. The large aquadome had a pleasant temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and a soft wind. Micah always sat on his shoulder as they walked, and after getting ready, Adam handed him over to Hara and went to the control room where Vought was already going over the information. He seemed nervous as Adam came up. York was running some programs on his terminal and was quiet as well. Adam could feel they were both nervous. "Okay, I want to know all we can about the earthquake, as well as the chances of new ones. Check for volcanoes while we are at it." He sat down on what he had called the admin chair. It was in the middle of the room and had several screens in front of him, but best of all, it twirled so he could see the whole room. Most of the science posts were empty. The screens before him sprang to life with all the intel they had. He saw a drone moving towards the area, and he looked at Vought and asked, "Did you launch that droid?" "Yes, sir," he answered as he swallowed hard. Adam only saw his back, but he could see he was tense. He looked over at Jork, who was just as tense. "Whose idea was it?" "I take full responsibility, sir. Jork said it might be a good idea when I asked him if I should, but I made the final decision." Vought replied. Jork nodded slowly. Adam started to laugh. "Oh my God, calm down, boys. You did good. This is exactly what I want from you. Later, you will run the project all by yourself and make all the decisions." They both seemed to smile at the praise, as if a heavy load had fallen off their backs. "Thank you, sir. I will turn on the visual now on the main screen," Vought replied. And Jork continued with his work. The world map came up with all fault lines marked up and their positions shown as a green dot. It was safely placed in the middle of a tectonic plate. Then red dots emerged at where potential volcanoes could emerge. At the moment, they were all inactive. Adam looked at them. "I have an extremely stupid idea," he said. "No," said Vought, and Jork and Adam started to laugh. "But," Adam said. "Still no," said Vought as he turned to look at him. He was grinning now, and Jork was trying to calm down. "Still I," said Adam with a big grin on his face, and Vought put a finger on his lips and said, "Shh, no extremely stupid ideas." At this, they all burst out laughing, and it took them 10 minutes to calm down. Adam was chuckling as he finally got enough self-control to speak again. "Okay, quick question then. Volcanoes spew out gases, right?" "Yes," York replied, and he looked at Vought. "I think I know what his insane idea is." "Insane? Not extremely stupid," he replied, looked at Adam, and sighed at him as he asked him, Okay, what is this insanely, extremely stupid idea? Well, volcanoes spew out gases, right? We need more gases in the atmosphere, so why don't we burst a few on the other side of the planet, safely away from us? He is insane, Vorts told Jork as he turned his attention back to Adam. We need nitrogen, and you won't get much of that from a volcano. It's mostly water and water vapor, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Yes, but you said water, and we also need carbon dioxides for the planet that hopefully will come later, right? So if we start now, we can find nitrogen later and add that. I'm not talking about a supervolcano, Adam replied. The more he spoke, the more he liked the idea. He had read something about volcanoes and the formation of the Earth. Besides, what's the worst that can happen? Vorts was about to counter, but then stopped himself. Yeah, well, it's early in the terraforming stage, so yeah, you can try it. It will fail, but it won't cost you more than a few shots from the ship's defense system. It will be a nice sight. He started to go over the screens. I should have a few potential targets available within an hour. But just for the record, this is insanity. Adam let out a mock, maniacal laughter. Ha ha ha. The two looked at him strangely as the joke went over their head in Adam's sight. I need a cat to stroke when I laugh, he said as he looked at the other reports. There was a message from Rox, and he looked at it. When did we get a communications satellite? You don't want it, York replied, and Adam looked at him. No, I want one. I just didn't know we had one. I haven't bought one yet since we could not find one that was secure. I don't want pirates to find this place. Oh, York replied. I will take it offline then and work on the security. It should not be too difficult to fix. We only need a GHS 5.6 security program. Can you ask Rox to pick it up? Then Jork went back to his screen, and Adam looked between them. Vorts would never reply like this, but it seemed to be natural for Jork. Both tried to do their best for him, but Jork would surpass expectations, while Vorts was scared to take that initiative. Let me reply to him. Then you can take it offline, until it's fixed, Adam replied. Jorks turned back to him. He can send that through the current system. That way, we don't have to wait a week for him. Just a suggestion, he replied. And Adam thought about it. Yeah, but no. I want it down as quickly as possible, and don't open it before it's secured, okay? He told him, and then opened the message. It was a written text. It was safer with long-distance messages. I obtained what you requested. I found new employees with the same 5-year contract, and they requested to bring the family. Please confirm. Found 3 students who would like to study your project. Miss Minna vets them, awaiting approval from you. He looked at the message and thought for a moment. They had enough space, and Merker would not be alone then. He quickly wrote down a reply. All approved. Buy the GHS 5.6 security program before returning, and use the remaining credits to buy as much soil as possible. This line will be closed until we install that security program. He pressed send, and turned to Jork. Follow the message. When it's received, you turn off the satellite. Next time, ask me about anything that involves contact with the outside until we have it secured. We must sit down and make a few rules when Rox returns. They both looked at him. We make? What do you mean? You're the boss. You make the rules, York said. And Vorts nodded in agreement. Hera came in with Micah, who squirmed out of her arms and ran to his father. Adam smiled at the sight before replying. I want to hear your opinions at least. And maybe you guys have some good ideas as well, but yes, I will have the final say. That doesn't mean I don't want to hear what you guys think about the rules. I don't want to make rules that go against your culture or nature. They looked at him, as if he had just confused them more. And Hara broke the silence. He is human. This must be a human thing. They seem to care about their slaves, she said, and they agreed with her. Adam sighed. You're not slaves. It's just the damn contracts. You're employees. I have hired you. And unfortunately, I got you in a way that would have gotten me tossed in jail back home. He was annoyed, and Hara looked shocked at him. Illegal? Is slavery illegal in the human world? Is that why you want this to be a human colony? She asked. Yes. If we become a human colony, all slaves are automatically freed. Even Jork. I could even grant him amnesty for his crimes if the human court feels his action to be justified or his sentence already served, he replied, and Jork thought for a moment as Micah climbed up on his lap. What about you? You would be arrested for having slaves. Since you knew about the law of the human colonies. He looked at him worried, and Adam nodded. Yeah, I'm going to need a damn good lawyer. Anyway, we have a few volcanoes to blow up, so let's focus on that now. We need to have the droid's printer transport with a cannon attached, and I think that is also technically illegal, he replied. And for a few seconds, they were quiet. Then Hara realized what he had just said. Blow up a volcano. Are you crazy? Vorts replied that she had forgotten about the other part, a medium-sized one on the other side of the planet. We won't even notice. It's one of his insane ideas. York put his son on his shoulder and turned to the screen. Now watch as Daddy makes Adam a flying cannon. I will teach you when you grow up. Micah giggled and pulled his father's ears as he worked. Adam watched them with a smile as he wondered if this is what it means to have family. He accessed a science screen and checked on the domes 1 and 2. Both showed signs of decomposition, and it made him smile. One small step closer. The next day, they all stood in the control room looking at the screen. It showed a large dormant volcano. They had 5 lined up, and then Adam kneeled down to Micah and handed him a small pad with a red button on the screen. Press the button, Micah. The little toddler pressed it again and again as he giggled. Each press turned a drone into a fireball that flew straight into the volcanoes. Then nothing happened, and Vorts looked at Adam. I told you it was an insane idea, he said. Adam shrugged. Yeah, you did. Oh well, let's find another solution. At least Micah had fun. Then he walked towards the kitchen for lunch, and the other followed. Maybe a drill would work better, York said, and Adam snapped his finger in agreement. Yeah, we'll try that. But let's do one first. There's no point in wasting too many resources. Oh, and make 10 more of those drones. They would be great for defense, Adam replied as he took out the plates, to Hara's annoyance. York chuckled. I have a solution to the kitchen problem, he said. What kitchen problem? Hara said as she tried to set the table. A maid droid. It's easy to program, and he has the basic design in the 3D printer, he replied. Vorts laughed as he looked at Hara. There's no kitchen problem, and it's a boss problem. We have a boss who doesn't know how to be a boss. Sit down, Adam. And that's an order. Adam sat down as he put down the last plate. She pointed at him. See, he doesn't know he is the boss, she said, slightly frustrated, as she finished setting the table and bringing out the food. He even tries to cook if I don't stop him. His cooking isn't that bad. He taught you how to make what's it called? Pizza, Vort said as he picked up the pad and started to look at the report that was coming in. Micah immediately turned towards Vorts. Pizza, pizza, he said, and everybody groaned. You had to say the word, Hara said, and she started to get some pizza out of the fridge, much to Micah's excitement. York turned to Adam and said, You made him a monster, Adam would have replied if not for Vort's exciting cursing. What? Adam asked, and York sent his report to a screen on the wall screen with a swift motion. It almost worked, he said. Volcano 5 has only a 7-meter crust, preventing it from bursting, and there is a build-up. It might go active. The others are reacting as well, but number 5 is the most likely to burst. Just need a nudge. York got up, placed Micah on Adams's lap, and grabbed a slice. I will start production. We should have one ready within an hour. The flight will take a few hours. You should think about getting atmospheric transport. Adam nodded. That's in the program. We don't have enough material for it. If we don't find a vast amount of iridium, then we have to buy one. He grabbed Micah, using the chance to stand on his knees and lean at the table, trying to grab a slice. I will look into that after this. Save a slice for me. Then York headed out. Rokes entered the orbit of dirt and looked down at the planet. There were clouds now, black clouds and white clouds over the pools. The woman next to him checked the reading. I thought you said they had a weak atmosphere, about 30% of standard M class. This one is 42%. Whatever they did must have worked. Rokes checked his scanners. Looks like they set off a bunch of volcanoes on the other side of the planet. Tell the others we are going to land. The lady nodded and walked back to the common area. Adam saw the ship land with 3 fighters escorting it, 2 light and 1 heavy. He also knew he had not asked him to buy those. D-01 came up to his side, and Adam had the 4 other getting ready. This might be their first pirate attack. Then the door opened, and Rokes came. Behind him was a large group of people. Adam counted at least 20, most of them small, like children. What's with the ships, Rokes? He asked And Rokes chuckled. Those are my employees. I'm now the CEO of Rock's escort agency, which is under your company. And don't worry, I pay for them. They are my old wing. Meet Kina, Cern, Barrow, and that's Kuna. 4 Tufons raised their hands. And Adam calmed down a little, but needed to regain control. Hi there, nice to meet you guys. Then he turned his attention back to Rokes. I will take over the paychecks if you don't mind. And we need to set up a contract. Rokes agreed, and Adam waved them toward the base. So, how did you find them? And can you send me their contracts? Adam looked at the rest of the group as he led them toward the base. I bought. Some pirates kidnapped them when they were fleeing the destruction of their colony and sold them into slavery. So the same contract as with my sister, and they are farmers and engineers, but they came with families, so I got them cheap. Rokes smiled, and Adam sighed. You bought them? Why? I don't want to buy slaves. Okay, they were taken by pirates, so that's illegal capture. I can free them immediately, a lady behind him replied. Only if you had freed them from the pirates when they went into the slaver pen. They became slaves, and you have to keep them for a minimum of 5 years. Adam turned to look at her, and she held out a hand. The helmet hid her face, so he had no idea who she was. 2 arms and 2 legs, at least. I'm Miana. You have met my grandmother. She suggested I should study your project for my studies. I'm studying plantology. Adam shook her hand, confused. My colleagues are Kenita Sumina, who is studying geology, and Cedri Mega, who is studying meteorology and climatology. We won't be in your way, she said as the 2 waved behind her. Adam waved awkwardly back. Don't worry about that. I will probably put you to work if I can. Then he addressed the whole group. I will get you all settled then. Hara will give you all a checkup and Mady will show you where you can stay, he replied as they all got inside. A humanoid droid that looked like she was made of white plastic, wearing a long black dress and face made of rubber. She spoke with a pleasant voice. Please follow me, and I will get you all settled in. Adam held Rokes and his crew back as the other left. Next time, let me know you're bringing in an armed crew, okay? He said, and Rokes nodded. Sorry, sir. I knew you would disapprove of it if I asked, and you need protection. What idiot set that communication satellite without a security program? That's when I reached out to them. And they agreed. Adam looked over them. You have to do more work than just escort here. I need transport pilots as well. Are you okay with that? They agreed, and Adam felt a little better. Do well, and I will reward you, he said, and Rokes chuckled. Do well, and this crazy guy will have you bless the ground he is walking on. Fail him, and I will personally toss you into the sun. Yes, sir, they said. Adam stared at him and shook his head. No, you're not. Come, let's get you a room and pizza, he replied as he walked out of the room, wondering what the hell he had gotten himself into.